call this as a misclerical. Misclerical, M-I-S, misclerical. The misclerical equal the elevation difference observed minus the elevation difference given. Yeah? For the loop root, of course here the elevation difference given is what? Zero. Yeah? The given is 0 because the starting point and the ending point is the start point.
Yeah.
So the elevation difference given of course is 0. So when you finish your observation, each section you have get elevation difference. The sum of them should also equal 0 in theory. Yeah?
Yeah.
If not, that means there is some misclerical in observation. This is misclerical. For the line leveling root, the h is equal elevation ending point minus elevation starting point. Yeah? So each section's elevation difference, you added them, and get the sum. Then minus the h in theory. So you can get the misclerical. Yeah? This is for line leveling root. For open-ended, is easy. That means for each section, the elevation difference 2 should equal in value elevation difference back. Yeah?
Yeah.
But one is positive and one is negative. That means for each section, the 2 and the back, these two directions, the elevation, the sum of them should be equal to 0. Yeah? Should be equal to 0. So, if the misclerical is not within the allowable limits, we say the survey must be repeated. Of course, if you can find which section you make a mistake, of course you repeat that. If you cannot find which section you make a mistake, that means the whole work should be repeat. Okay. About the allowable limits, of course, this is just should be according to the different specification and different specification of different projects and all in different countries. Yeah. Okay. For here, we say for normal precise leveling root, we say usually we have in the plain area and in the mountains may be different. In the plain, because each station, the distance may be equal roughly. So we use the length of leveling root to calculate the misclerical allowable. In the mountains, because each station, the distance may be different, obviously. So we use the number of stations, number of setups to count, to calculate the misclerical allowable. Okay, of course, in high order, in high precise leveling root, usually we will not use this kind of formula. We just use the length to calculate the misclerical limits allowable. Yeah? For example, first order, the second order leveling root, we just like this formula. Of course, the number here is small, smaller. Okay. The unit is a millimeter. Okay. The result of the unit is a millimeter. But here, the unit is a kilometer. Here is the number of the stations. Okay. If you finish one leveling root, and then you can use this to calculate the limits. If the misclerical here you calculate is less than this allowable limits, that means the work is reasonable. Yeah, it's okay, it's good job. So you can finish that. But if not less than, it's bigger than, so you must repeat that. Okay? Okay, this is the checking. Is the checking. Of course, some attentions. Firstly, you should check the level before field work. In fact, in survey for each kind instrument, for each kind survey field work, we should do this first. For example, in China, for each kind instrument of survey, you should check the instrument and get a certificate card for the instrument. And this card is just have a period of 1 year. Beyond 1 year, you should check again. If you do the survey without this certificate card, that means you didn't you not obey the laws. Not especially in nowadays if you the project you charge them of broken and or accident, especially to make some people lost their life, you will be put in the jail. Yeah, real. For example, if you build a subway, because the subway stations, firstly you should dig a big hole, yeah? So, very deep. Sometimes to dig this big hole will be collapsed. So, someone may be lost life. So, in this situation, the survey engineer usually will be put in jail because you must survey and monitor the deformation of the earth. Of course, this is your work, is your responsibility. If you not find that, of course, if you find the deformation of the earth and use the instrument with certificate card and use the right method, you find the deformation and the report. So, of course, it's not your mistake. But if you find and didn't report, or you didn't find but it happens, so you'll be yeah. You have some real it happened. That means it happened in Hangzhou, Guangzhou, many years ago. So several years ago. Yeah, for example, just only 2 years, one subway station, I in charge just before the Huochenan South Railway Station. Yeah, one subway station. I just in charge. So every day I just very careful, very serious. Just take about 2 years. Yeah. And then the second, of course, for this point, I have another one. That means in your country maybe have different. Yeah. But in China, for each kind instrument, every year you should check it and get the certificate card. Keep the foreside and the backside distance roughly equal. Of course, in the experiment yesterday, we didn't obey this, but in the third experiment, we must do like this. The third turning point should be placed at hard surface and must place the rod support. This is for turning point. You should remember the function of turning point is to transfer the elevation. Okay. Foresight rod support cannot be moved during the time of moving station and observation. Otherwise, the observation of the whole leveling route should be done again. Okay. The backside rod support can only be moved after the station move. That means when you finish one station, the people in charge of the instrument should never call back the person in charge of the backside rod. Yeah? Leave him alone. When you move, of course, he will move too. Okay? This is some attention points. Okay? So much for today. And when you back at dormitory, and people prepare book.